It's been more than 5 years since you first contacted the Senate Judiciary Committee to reveal the story on Turkish bribery of high-level US officials. Can you tell us about how this has evolved since then and where it stands now?
Sure. It's been slightly over 5 years since I went to the Senate Judiciary Committee, and I had briefing sessions with both Senator Grassley's staff and Senator Leahy's staff from the Judiciary Committee, briefing them in classified fashion in terms of giving them specifics, document number, document names, names of specific targets, and the issues themselves related to my case. And as you may remember, a few months after I briefed the Senate Judiciary Committee, both senators started speaking out pretty loudly in the media. We had the CBS 60 Minutes segment when Senator Grassley showed up and said, "Oh, this is outrageous. Even people within the FBI have confirmed all her stories, and we need to turn the FBI upside down on this issue." And at the same time, Senator Leahy was making similar statements, and they were both trying to actually put together a hearing on this case. And later I was told that due to the chairman at the time, I believe it was Senator Hatch, it was being prevented internally from having a hearing and bringing these people, some of these good FBI agents who would be telling the truth under oath, other witnesses from both sides, and shed light on this issue. And it didn't happen, unfortunately. And again, 2 years later, we had this report that was issued, and again, this is the unclassified version of that report by the Inspector General's office. And this is the Department of Justice's own Inspector General's office. And after 2 years of investigating, the report confirmed my reports. And in fact, one of the conclusions of the report was it was appalling that despite the fact that these allegations were supported by documents and other witnesses, FBI refused to do any follow-up or investigation, real investigation on this case. So you have this case, which has been, for the past 5 years, confirmed by congressional sources, people familiar with my case, confirmed by the Inspector General's office. This is for the Department of Justice's Inspector General's office. Never contradicted or denied by the Justice Department or the FBI. And to a certain degree, very small amounts received media scrutiny, again, initially, mainly being a confirmed case, a legit case that has been confirmed by these different sources, and nothing has been done. 5 years plus, there has been no hearing. There has not been a real investigation of this case within the Justice Department or the FBI. Nobody has been held accountable. And we are basically where we had started. And I find that really appalling, and it's a very sad situation, not for me only or for my case, because many people, they think this case is about one whistleblower. It's about one language specialist whistleblower who worked for the FBI and wrongfully was terminated. It was not that, because I wouldn't have been terminated if I did not bring forth issues that were important to the American public, that were important even for people outside the United States. So it is not a case about only a whistleblower and a case of the whistleblowers, but it is a case that sheds light to several important areas, including our foreign policy, which is hypocrisy-ridden, including certain individuals within our own government. We are not talking about only foreign individuals. We are talking about our own, what we refer to as U.S. officials, U.S. persons, who have been engaged in acts and in certain actions that are against the American public's best interest and what we stand for. And again, after 5 years, here we are. The American people, they don't know about this case yet, still. And despite the fact that they have been fully briefed, they have gotten full confirmation, the United States Congress has done nothing.
This makes one wonder who is actually working for the people and who is working for his own personal and private gains.
This is a very important issue, because this is when we get into these areas of, as you just mentioned, the issue of, let's say, revolving doors. The issue of self-interest versus the interest of the American public, especially when you're talking about public servants. And these are the people who have been given access to our national security related issues, top secret documents, and have been given positions and authorities. And instead of using these for the benefit of the country, they have been throughout the years. I mean, this is not about, and I emphasize this is not about one party. This is not an issue of right wing versus left wing. This is not an issue of one administration only against another administration, because when you really go deep into these cases one by one, these people who are misusing and abusing their positions, these U.S. entities, these U.S. officials, it has been going on for a while, and we have been looking the other way, and the mainstream media has been looking the other way, and these are not top secret, because all you have to do is take a look at these people. And I always give examples of these people. I say, for example, look at to an individual such as Mr. Mark Grossman. You know, he used to be the ambassador, U.S. ambassador in Turkey, and then he was given this very high-level position within the State Department. And again, I cannot talk about the details of my case. I cannot talk about the targets of certain FBI counterintelligence operations. But to see that individuals such as Mr. Grossman using that position to secure future higher level positions while in office, and I would like to emphasize this, while in office, and doing so while you have had several agencies knowing about it, and some people within these agencies wanting to investigate these cases, but then these investigations being prevented from going forward. You want to stop and say, why? In my case, with this one example that I gave you, I was told by my bosses, and these are the good people bosses, these are the agents that I work with, it was the fact that the Pentagon and the State Department, they were pressuring the Justice Department to pressing forward. And just take a look at where Mr. Grossman is today. You know, within a few months after he gave his resignation, he obtained this position with this certain, maybe semi-legit Turkish company that is supplying him with a very attractive, nice monetary reward every month. He obtained a position with a lobbying firm that represents, this particular foreign country, and then you can start, going around and looking at similar cases, such as Mr. Fight and Mr. Pearl. They were registered foreign agents. They were registered as foreign agents for Turkey between 1988, 1989 till 1995. Very lucrative positions, both for the law firm that Mr. Fight was associated with at the time, and they were not representing the American government, and they were outside the government at that point. Well, did it end their position as in terms of which interests they represented once they went back into those high-level positions again within the U.S. government in 2000, be it Mr. Fight's position, be it Mr. Pearl's position? And unfortunately, you see from the congressional sides, you have seen it in the late 80s and early 90s with Mr. Solars, Congressman Solars, and again, we saw it happening again with Congressman and later Chairman Livingston, and the great position that he obtained as a representative of a foreign interest. And we may see it shortly with individuals and current congressmen, such as former chairman, Mr. Hastert. It won't be surprising if you see another Hastert's group being established. And it is for the American public, it's for our own mainstream media to really look hard at these issues, because, again, this is an example of one country that we are talking about right now, one case. How many others there are, and why are we looking the other way? And do our people know, are they aware of trusting and giving the authority, giving the power, putting these people in power to represent them Yet to sit back and actually see that it's not their interest that is being represented,